I know that Lindenwood Gardens has a reciprocal garden program if you join their membership. Is there anything like that with Har-Ber Village?
Actually, there is.
Okay, you just gave a hack of how you see things in this area. That is the hack
Yes, it
right
is.
now today. And hello, my name is Franklin, and I'm with.
Nicole Reynolds, the executive director at Har-Ber Village Museum.
Okay, and we are. Where are we right now?
We're at the Grove Home and Garden Show here in Grove, Oklahoma.
All right, and I have been to Har-Ber Village. Just I've seen Har-Ber Village. I haven't really explored everything at Har-Ber Village, but especially want to ask you a question about if someone is touring Har-Ber Village and they're going through the area, what can they expect to see over
They
there?
can see antiquities and artifacts the from this area, northeast Oklahoma, and the surrounding 3 states. So everything that you see is indigenous to 1800 through about 1940.
Wow, interesting. So there like a jail people can see and
There,
schoolhouse and things like that?
there is, and actually, we have the jail, the courthouse, the gallows, what you would have typically seen in a township in the pioneer era in this area. Our schoolhouse, for example, is actually the historical schoolhouse from Goshen, Arkansas, which was actually the Mountain Home School, its original one room school, and it was actually in service from about 1840 up until about 1930, I believe it was.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes,
Wow. So I remember that I was at one point at New York City,
yes.
and so I didn't even go. This is kind of crazy. I didn't go to Central Park even though I was in New York City, and I was there. So it's like this Har-Ber Village is so close, and there's so many things I probably need to see at Har-Ber Village that I need to take the advantage of. And one of them is also the walking trail. There's
Yes.
a walking trail that people can go to. Can you tell us about that as well?
Yes, those were added in 2018. They're free to the public. So they are 3.2 miles of nature walking trails. Part of them are paved, part of them aren't. But you get good water and views of Grand Lake. So we actually have on one end of our nature trails a nice big lookout where you can sit there and just reflect in nature and just enjoy what Grand Lake has to offer, as well as this community. You can come in, and it's part of it's a good cardio heart walk. Part of it is just great for the seniors to come out because it is paved. It's just beautiful walking trails.
I need to walk that walking trail, and so I'm gonna do that. I like to run. I like to walk, and it's good to be outside. It's good to have some fresh
Fresh
air,
air.
and we're basically almost touching spring right now, so this is a good time, especially to go to Har-Ber Village. And
Well, and then coming forward, we just recently received a hometown grant from T-Mobile. And so what we're doing is we're going to update all of the properties, so which includes the nature trails, to have Wi-Fi accessibility.
oh, okay,
So
wow,
if you don't have the data package that or the ability to be able to get any kind of service on your cell phone, you still have the Wi-Fi accessibility, as well as we're adding nature trail education modules about indigenous fauna, flora, animals. So
oh
it's
wow.
fantastic. So we'll have education modules out there as well.
So when is this expected to happen or whatever? I guess that's $1 million question.
This right now we're in the building phase of the network for the fiber optic part of it, and then probably by the end of this summer we will be launching the Wi-Fi and the education modules for our nature trails.
Cool.
This will
Okay.
give local schools and the educators a place to come for free with all the schools out as the fuel money to get there. So it's a free educational scavenger hunt that they can do QR code based.
Okay. Wow.
Let's get our kids in nature.
We need to be in nature. It's
Yes.
important. I mean, I am someone that loves technology, maybe too much, but I love technology. But at the same time, I think that when you're outside, it's very important. So, because we still need that sunshine, we still need that fresh air, and then if you can do something educational as well, that's going to be helpful.
It is.
And I know children like nature and they like to learn about animals and things like that. So I think that'll be fun. And speaking of children, I had heard previously that you had said something like there's been a lot of homeschoolers that have come to Har-Ber Village since I believe 2020. Is that correct?
Correct. So in 2020, as everyone knows, during the pandemic, everyone went to virtual schooling through the public school system. Well, Prior to that, about 12% of Oklahoma's populace was homeschool students. Well, this kind of forced the issue of, going into virtual study. At that point, post COVID and post pandemic, a lot of that shift did not go back to public school. They stayed in the homeschool realm. So we shifted up to, and at that time, during the height of the pandemic, I think 27% of Oklahoma students were homeschooled.
Wow.
We are still sitting at 17% as of 2024.
Wow.
So that tells you how many families have changed how they want to educate their children, whether it be in a home setting or what you have. Well, for us, during the pandemic, being an outdoor facility gave us the path to be able to give these children their field trip opportunities. And so at that time, it increased our memberships, our attendance, and we went to a third of our overall admissions are actually homeschool families and their students. And so we typically see between homeschool and public schools about 9,000 students from March to November every year.
And can they get tours from people as well? Like if you have a group that wants to come to Har-Ber Village, can they get tours from you as well?
Oh, yes,
Guided tours?
guided tours, they sure can. And what's even more fantastic on those school ones, if a homeschool family or a public school were to give us a call, we will set up those hands-on heritage skills and give those kids a hands-on experience with a guided tour.
Okay, that's good to know. I'm going to keep that in the back of my mind. And I think my last question, we'll see, but I know that Lindenwood Gardens has a reciprocal garden program if you join their membership. Is there anything like that with Har-Ber Village?
Actually, there is. So we at Har-Ber Village are reciprocal with what is called NARM, or North American Reciprocal Museums. And so if you buy a membership, which is like an annual pass for $100 or higher, that gives you free or reduced admission in over 1,800 museums
Wow.
nationwide. If you
Mm.
go to Tulsa Air and Space Museum, it's free. If you go to Woolarock, it's free. So it is one of those, it is something that we market to our homeschool families as well. They're on a tight, restricted budget. This gives them the ability to have other educational field trip opportunities.
Okay, you just gave a hack of how you do how you see things in this area. That is the hack
Yes, it
right
is.
now today, and so I'm really glad that you shared that with us. Okay, Nicole, we have to break down what you were talking about in terms of this membership plan because I am just realizing how good this deal is. Can you explain what does that $100 really entail for people?
So let's talk memberships and break those down. If you become a museum friend for $100, that's good for one calendar year, and it can be either 4 adults or 2 adults and up to 5 kids. So if you buy it, say Franklin, and you brought your 3 guests with you, doesn't matter who those guests are. That's all we provide is just 4 people to come in with, basically you and 3 guests. Or say you came in and you had your sister and 5 nieces and nephews with you, guess what? You can all come in because it's 2 adults with 5 kids.
Wow. So the 3 guests, that would be 3 adults.
Hmm.
Or if I had children, or there was children with me. I don't have children, but then it could be 5 children and then another adult
Another
as
adult.
well
Correct.
for $100. And if I'm understanding this correctly, it doesn't have to be limited to just those people if I went again to Har-Ber Village.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Correct.
So if I wanted to say that if I wanted to show people around Grove and I have different visitors that come to Grove, then I could actually still use that
Interchange
membership.
that.
Interchange
Correct.
that. Okay. Anything else you wanted to mention about the $100?
It is affordable for any family to come. It is affordable for any person that lives here locally. Say you come in, you have grandchildren that visit you 4 times a year or 5 times a year or as many times as you want. I mean, it is so affordable. You go twice as a family and you've already paid for your membership for the year. And so it is good for one calendar year. For
Well,
me, it's just the value for your buck is just amazing.
yeah. So I think that it's kind of like a no-brainer for people that want to just go for yourself or even going for others because
This has
it's
been
a
here
really
since
good deal.
1968, and you are supporting a local community-based organization while giving your guests or your grandkids or your children an education at the same time.
Well, okay.
Yeah, and you're out in nature.
Yeah,
What better
exactly.
way?
what would you say like would be the best spot or one of your favorite spots at Har-Ber Village?
That is so hard to say, but I will say it would be our living history programs. And so for me, we have what's called Living History Alley, and we will go in and teach you hands on whether you want to crochet, whether you want to quilt, whether you want to do fiber arts, which is weaving, spinning, wool shearing. If you want to learn how to wood carve. We have a resident wood carving club. If you want to learn the process of how to make a broom out of corn broom. So there's all of that. And so for me, that is just an amazing thing because a lot of people are hands-on learners. Most students learn hands-on now. And so for me, that's like the best part is we can bring those heritage skills back to life and they are still relevant. We still use them and it's just wonderful.
All right, so if people want to know more about the museum, where do they go? What's the phone number they call, and like what's the website or Facebook page?
So we have on our Facebook, we have right now around 18,000 followers. Please be one of them. We're hooked to Instagram as well. And that is through Har-Ber Village on Grand Lake of the Cherokees. We also have our website, which is har-ber-village.com. And then our phone number is 918-786-6446.
All right, thank you so much, Nicole.
Thank you.